Coach Deborah has a passion and purpose to assist young men, ages 15 to 24, to overcome obstacles and build their best lives. She wants to see every young man live out their potential. She has a master's degree in human services counseling, with a major in life coaching. More importantly, she is the mother of 3 boys, who are exceptional, educated, professional men. Coach Deborah believes it is better to train early, rather than need to fix later. She utilizes basic principles and God-led concepts. Sometimes the only thing a young man has is their credibility or their name. The actions they take are based on the decisions they make. Those decisions align with their choices and result in consequences. Coach Deborah can assist you if you are lost, floundering, or confused. Embrace the help and start building your best life today.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday. Welcome to Real Talk with Deborah and Anastasia. It's real people, real topics, and real talk. How are you, Anastasia?
I am good, Miss Deborah. How are you?
Well, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I am excited to be here today. So, we always try to have a topic that is makes you kind of think. So that's what we want to try to do today. But I do want to thank everyone for everything that you do in support of Build Your Best Life. We thank you for your prayers, your likes, your comments, your shares. Please make sure you get your pad and pens ready and you share this with someone and comment as we go along. But today, our topic is, well, I'm not going to even tell you what the topic is. How about that? But, we never know what our actions and words may do to another person. What we say in an attempt to, sometimes we're trying to be funny, we're just being ourselves. What we say something, but we don't really mean any harm. But sometimes that can backfire because we never know how someone is feeling on a particular day. What someone else has just done to them, something they may be going through, what their mental state is. So one word taken out of context, and words or actions that you say or do to someone can be hurtful, and it can be demeaning to them. And guess what? Sometimes it can actually cause permanent damage or send them over the edge. Your words, your steps, your gesture, your posture, your facial expressions, your voice tone, what you write, you get all on social media, and the movement of your eyes all speak volumes and are your actions. What are your actions actually saying to others? It can be something that's crucial. It is never too late to make adjustments in your life. So that's why I thought this was a great topic. If you are not walking the talk, it's time to make some adjustments. Why do people, think it's okay to say and do certain things? What do you think, Anastasia?
As you were speaking, I had to smile, especially when you say tone of voice and gestures and all that stuff. Listen, I try very hard. I really do try very hard. And what we do not keep in mind a lot of times is that people are human. We make mistakes. So on my end of things, I am not trying to be condescending. I am not trying to be dismissive. I do not believe that my tone is aggressive. I do not believe that my tone is dull and dry to the point that it sounds like I'm disinterested in what you're saying or what you're telling me about or whatever. That is not my intention. But while on one hand, I'm not responsible for how you take it because everybody has different triggers, but I can acknowledge and accept the way that you've taken it. When someone says to me, and I have to put myself in this, when someone says to me that something I've said or something that I've done was offensive to them, or it made them feel a certain type of way, it is not my place to dismiss what they've said and be like, oh, that's not how I meant it. So why are you taking it like that? No, that's not how I meant it. So that's not what it is. I am not in their body. I am not that person. I do not have their history, thoughts, behaviors. So I cannot say and determine that what was said, even though it didn't come from a place of malice, couldn't have been taken as a malicious behavior, a malicious action. So, as humans, yes, we do make mistakes. We do things unknowingly sometimes. But the first step to living in harmony with everybody else in this little crazy world that we're up to is acknowledging your mistakes. That's the first part. If you can accept and acknowledge that, okay, it was not my intention, that's not what I wanted to do, but it is what I ended up doing. And so that was my bad. I will have to think about ways that I can do things differently and that I can make adjustments or changes for the next time, even if it's only when I have an interaction with this person, or if it's a more generalized thing and I have to consider what my what I am giving off to the world. I have to acknowledge my mistake and pay attention to what it is that I did in the situation. Then, secondly, I will have to acknowledge or give credibility to the way that I made the other person feel. No, it's not what I meant to do. No, it is what I meant to say. It just isn't how I meant for you to accept it, because it is what I meant to say and it is how I meant to say it because that's what I did. But it's not the way that I thought that you would accept it, or the way that I wanted for you to accept it, or the way I meant to communicate it. And so I have to validate your acceptance or your reality of how the situation played out. I don't know you well enough. No one will ever know someone else well enough to say and predict how they will accept something all the time. You can have someone that you've been joking with for years and you've been giving them the same kind of joke and telling them the same kind of thing, but there may be something different about that day. That joke or that thing that you usually would say is just not hitting the same mark or hitting the same spot that it usually would. And that's something that is very valid. So that would be the second thing, to validate the other person's experience in that moment, in that situation. And then the third thing would be on both sides to be forgiving. When you've made a mistake towards somebody, you cannot beat yourself up so badly with it that you, okay, I told this person this joke and they took it the wrong way, and so I'm not going to tell any jokes anymore for the rest of my life. No, if you know that you're trying to be a funny person and the joke didn't hit the mark the first time around, then maybe you need to alter the joke a little bit, but depending on what the joke is, try again. Do not beat yourself up so much and so badly that you're just going to cut off that person or that thing or trying to communicate whatever it is that you were doing. And like I said, it goes on both sides. When someone has done something to offend you or that you don't feel like you accept it in the way that they were giving it to you, that does not automatically mean, oh my gosh, I am just a broken person and I am easily triggered by everything around me. And so I've just got to, stop interacting with this person. Or I've got to make sure that I let everybody know not to talk about this particular subject matter with me because I'm super sensitive about it and I'm just this wounded dog. No. Once you've acknowledged maybe why this is a trigger for you, then you can understand, okay, how do I now move on from this being such a trigger for me or such a sore spot in my life that even when someone is not intending to hurt my feelings, they still are. So those are my three. And we're starting this Saturday off hot. We are. I know. I know. I know. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to send this. Don't forget to take the link, put it into WhatsApp. Don't forget to take the link, send it to somebody's DM on Instagram, whatever it is that you need to do. Somebody needed to hear that. And we have a lot more information for you that's coming for the rest of this day. Don't we, Miss Deborah?
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Now, this is one, and I might step on some toes, might step on my own toes, but this is one that I think is important, and that is you want to appear bigger than life. Everything about you is just, huge, big. And so sometimes you have to think, is it ego driven? Is it ego driven? But everything about you, you want it to appear larger than it actually is. So when you tell the story, your assets are way more than what you say. Oh yeah. I'm making, you're not making 6 figures, you're making 7 figures. Really? And if you are, that's wonderful. And it's really not anybody's business how many figures you're making. So you're throwing it out there. Why? Nobody's asking you, but you just, I'm on this job and, I'm making 7 figures. Okay, it's all good. Then you say, someone says, oh, I think I'm going back to school. I want to work on my bachelor's degree. Somebody else says, I really love the industry that I'm in. I'm going to go back to school and work on my master's. Well, I have a doctorate. That's why, everybody called me doc. I got a doctorate degree. Well, if the truth be told, you only have an associate's degree. And I shouldn't say only, because if, that satisfies where you want to be in life, because all professions and businesses don't require a lot of higher education. But it's bothering you because you're saying, hey, I got a doctorate degree when you don't. Why is that? My neighbor where I live, our amenities, they're just top notch. We have so much technology. Everything's over the moon. Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. Oh, good. Yeah. Somebody just mentioned. So I love your new whip. That is nice. Oh, I love the color. Black is my favorite color for a car. Well, my car is one of a kind. And you're looking at the brand and it's like, oh, one of a kind, really? Yeah. But when the truth be told, it was the only one on that particular car lot. It's not one of a kind. Oh, I don't buy off the rack. I don't buy off the rack. So when you say you don't buy off the rack, then people thinking, oh, you shop in Paris or whatever, you only contour, you only wear originals, whatever. Well, the reason why you can say you don't shop off the rack because you're online, shopping where everybody else does, off the rack, but you're just doing it online. But why are you saying this? Why is it making a difference in where you are, telling people? You just saying all these things, and then people like, what's really going on with this person? Because you want to be bigger than life. You tell everybody, hey, you know what? I'm a world traveler. I've been to Paris. I've been to Africa. I've been to Australia. And if they could only be in your office, you have been photoshopping all those trips. Why? Why? Who are you fooling? Who are you trying to impress? The only relevance here in any of these things that I mentioned, because me, anything to me, I mean, it's what you want to do, because I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm the only person I can control. So whatever you got and whatever you're doing, I'm happy for you. But the only relevance here is that you never know who is watching you. Somebody is sitting back admiring you for who you are. You're their role model. But your words are saying you're successful, you're educated, you know how to accomplish things and it's just easy to you. So this is what is making these people really look up to you. However, your actions override your words. That's not good, is it, Anastasia? You're on mute.
Didn't want to disturb you and ended up disturbing myself. But what you said about being a world traveler, well, given the impression that you're a world traveler, and just photoshopping pictures and all the rest of these things and creating these stories and things like that, I can definitely relate to that. I've definitely seen that quite a bit. You want to give off this impression that you've done so much and you've been so many places when there's nothing wrong with what you've done so far. Why do you feel the need that it has to be something that's so big and so grand to be this excessive and this extreme thing? I do not understand it. But hopefully someone will put something in the comments. They'll tell us a story about how somebody told a lie to them about a situation they were in or a place they've been, a thing that they've had that was not exactly how it seemed and how they were found out. That would be a great story for you to put into comments for us. So, when we're looking at people making mistakes, we can also think about times in life when people are selfish and only thinking about themselves. So, I know that when we're kids, you know, we always get these lessons of, you got to share, you have to share, that's your brother, that's your sister, you have to share. My younger brother is 7 years under me, so I've had 7 years of bliss. But it's been 7 great years of being the baby before he came along, and it was a wonderful time. It was a great ride, and of course, as soon as he came along, being the only boy, especially, the world revolved around him, and we're fine now. Like we're great, we're Gucci. But when he first arrived, I was like, "Who is this little bald crying thing? What? Why is he here? Who asked for this? How do we send him back?" As we are young, we're told and conditioned that, you need to share, you need to share, you need to share. And sometimes when we get older, because we are now in control of the narrative a bit more, we are in control of our possessions a bit more, we are in control of the decision making processes. It's a conscious decision not to. It is literally a conscious decision that I am not going to spend any money on anybody else. I am not going to give somebody else my time. I am not going to give somebody else my energy. And to a point, it's okay. You should never give so much of yourself that you are harming yourself or you are taking away from your necessities, your peace of mind to satisfy someone else. That should never be the case. However, if you are living in abundance of food and you know someone that could really use just a small fraction of what it is that you have, but then it is still your decision because of some past experience, some deep rooted belief that, you know what, if I give them that, then they're not going to stop asking me and they're always going to be looking to me to give them things and whatever. That should not be your deterrent for giving to someone. There are times when, you're going to be thinking, okay, I have a three-piece of chicken. KFC is a huge thing here. So I have a three-piece meal and, I see that this person didn't have anything, didn't bring anything for lunch today. My intention was to eat maybe one or two pieces, a little bit of the drink, and a little bit of fries or whatever, and leave the rest of it for dinner. That was my intention. You had that plan. It belongs to you. You are entirely within your right to still execute that plan. But consider the effect that you would have on the other person if you were to share your lunch with them. When we are walking or working from a selfish mindset, it is only with us in mind, our possessions, our money, our feelings, our time. The way to break that type of mentality is to consider the effect that you can have on somebody else by giving them $5, by going to visit them in the evening because you were already passing their house anyways and you weren't in a rush to go anywhere or doing anything. So to go ahead and spend a few minutes with your aunt and just say hi, the impact that that can have on her can be invaluable, unmeasurable. When you've given a possession to someone, and I'm not talking about jewelry and things like that, memorabilia, they hold a different place in our heart. But something as simple as a vase, a clock, a lamp, a pair of shoes. You've changed out the decor of your bedroom. And so you've got like sheets and curtains and stuff like that that you know that you're not going to use anymore. Someone just moved into a new apartment. They could make use of that type of thing. Or they just left their husband. They just moved out of their parents' house. They're going off to college. There's lots of different scenarios where your time, money, possessions can be valuable to somebody else, and the value would be immeasurable. So yes, I'm not telling you that you gotta, as people tend to say here, cut off your nose to spoil your face. It's a saying that means you should not give so much of yourself that it's to your own detriment. That's what it actually means. You should not give so much of yourself that it's to your own detriment. But if you found that you had this selfish behavior or you are, you know, so opposed to that share upbringing that now in adulthood, while you have control of things, you do not, you're not able to relinquish that control even in the little bit. Start thinking about and considering the effect that you're going to have on somebody else's life. when you touch them in that way, when you give to them in that way. And that's going to help you to adjust your mindset ever so slightly, ever so surely. And before you know it, you're going to be one of the best givers on your blog. Like Miss Deborah. I'm still loving my candles, by the way. You're muted. You, you do the same thing that I do. I don't want to interrupt you. You don't want to interrupt me. Life is just happening in the background of these things. It's just, don't worry about it. You're not being selfish. You're being considerate. That's awesome.
Yes. Thanks. Yes, we are talking about your actions overriding your words. So the final one we want to talk about is just because. Just because. So you tell your kids and everybody else that will listen, this is the way it is just because that's what you say. And why? Just because you say. And you have to realize that the last 3 generations, they're not so much, okay, my parents said, they're watching you. So what are your actions saying? That's what I want to talk about. Just because. So you have told your children in no uncertain terms that they are allowed to do certain things. I'm going to talk about 3 things. The first one, you've told them, unless you have a fever or you need to go to the ER, you're going to get up and go to school. You cannot say you're too sick to go to school. You will go to school. But it's nothing for you to call in. You just call in and say, I won't be in today. I'm not feeling very well. What does that mean? Or you will say, something I ate is not agreeing with me, so I won't be in today. But you've told your child they have to have a fever or they need to be on the way to the ER, but they have to go to school. So you're saying one thing, but you're showing them something totally different. Which one are they going to do? They've seen you call in and say, oh, I can't come in. I'm just exhausted. My plane got in late. And they're thinking, what plane? Ain't been on no plane. So you are saying things, but your actions are saying something totally different. You are teaching your children that it's okay to be dishonest, to be irresponsible, because though they are dependent on you at work, but you call in with some thing that's not a thing. You think it's okay, and you are but you are being totally untrustworthy. And then this is the sad part. They may look at you differently because you've been saying one thing, but they're hearing you seeing you do something that's totally different. Now, this one you might find funny, but just think about it. You tell your kids, or you have say in a conversation, you really should not have a dessert before dinner. You can't have any sweets. You can't have any snacks. You have to eat first, and then you can have something sweet. But what do? And then what makes it so bad, you sit right in front of them and do it. Nothing for you to do but for you to pull out a candy bar and just, you just enjoying it. Just not thinking about anything. You haven't had any dinner. It's 5 o'clock. You eating the candy bar. Drinking a soda, just popping sodas, drinking them. They're watching you. You've told them that sodas are bad for you, too much sugar. You can't have any, but you stay popping them. You go out to eat at a restaurant. Everybody ordering appetizers, chit-chatting. They get to you. Oh, yeah, bring me a creme brulee. Mommy, that's a dessert. I know it's a dessert. So everybody else eating salad, soup, bread, whatever, but you going straight to the dessert. What are you showing your kids and the people around you? Your actions are saying it's okay to eat dessert or junk food anytime you want to. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Your behavior is really confusing. People think that you are not honest or you don't care what you say to them, and your words, they don't mean very much, because if you're not so trustworthy with this situation, what about other situations? Now this one, put something in the chat if I'm stepping on your toe, you know, and somebody that can relate. So you tell your kids that they are not to take anything that does not belong to them, including anything that's found in the family home. Is if it's not yours, you need to find what family member it belongs to. That includes family's wallets, purses. If you're at school and you find a phone or something on the floor, you better try to find out who it belongs to. You better not bring it here, because we don't steal, right? Okay, all right. That's what you say. Those are your words. But you're in your child's room and you dusting and you decide, oh yeah, I'm gonna get up under this dresser. It's been a while. You going under the dresser, a $5 bill come out. You don't put it on the child's dresser. It's part of their allowance. They thinking they lost it. You put it right in your pocket. Put it right in your pocket. Sorry about that. That's for the eye drops. You bring rubber bands home. Mom, where'd you get all those rubber bands? Wow, we sure can use them. Where'd you get them from? I'm going to make a rubber band ball. Got them from work. Okay. You do know that those rubber bands cost the people at work. They don't get them for free, right? You do know that, right? Now, we don't steal in this family. We honest. So y'all go to the grocery store, right? They got the self-serve lanes where you scan, and then they got the lanes, just a couple lanes where people will scan for you. Y'all go to the self-checkout. So you scanning, your kids with you, right? Because they helping you put the stuff on the conveyor belt. You scan one item and put 3 items in the bag. You scan one item and you put 3 items in the bag. Now, if you don't do it, I know you've seen somebody do it, right? But your family doesn't steal. Your actions are saying it's okay to take things. It's okay. But that's not the words that you said. But your actions are saying, oh yeah, it's okay to steal. You can steal from work. You can steal from the grocery store. I can do whatever I want, but you can't. Your actions are showing them something else. So when they go out, you know, I've been smiling, but I'm serious. When they go out and they get in trouble because they see something they want, oh, my mom does it, I'm going to do it too. And they get caught. And you get that call. Hey, you can't feel some kind of way because they are watching what? Your actions. It's not good. Your actions override your words. I'm going to say that one more time. You know, those actions, your actions override your words. So what are your actions really saying? What are they saying?
Even those unintentional actions, they can override your words. When you are saying something with your mouth, but your face is telling a whole different story, they override your words. When you're saying sorry, but your body language is like, if you don't get out of my face, your actions are overriding your words. And this was such a great message today. So hopefully short and sweet. We're gonna hope that's what it is. If it was short and sweet, make sure to put that in the comments. Short and sweet. Let us know. And Miss Deborah, it was such a pleasure being with you this morning. Love having our talks. Love taking this little girl time out. These real talks, these real conversations.
Yes, I love them. I love them. I love them. Anytime you can give that real talk, sometimes it get kind of harsh, but it be straight to the point, and it is so relevant. What can I say? All right. So you have anything else you want to say before we close out, Anastasia?
My only thought would be to make sure that we are intentional about what it is that we do. You know, we've gotten some great examples today of how our actions can override our words. So just let's make sure that our actions are intentional, that we are purposeful in our movements and what it is that we do and where it is that we go, so that we'll always keep our words and our actions in alignment.
That's right. Thank you. Very good. So again, thank you all so very much for tuning in this morning, because you could have been anywhere else, but you decided to get up and join Anastasia and I. So we greatly appreciate you. Please join us this Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Blueprint for Success. My guest is Tony Carter. He lives in Florida. He's a former NFL football player, and he's currently a coach. And our topic is going to be, I see you. I see you. You never know who's watching you. Y'all got to tune in. Check it out. Check it out. And this year, you know, we're talking about Blueprint for Success, but Build Your Best Life also wants you to know that we are declaring Jeremiah 29:11 over your life. And you can put it in the chat. I know you already know what I'm going to say, so put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. God knows. God knows the plans that He has for your life. He wants you to have what? What does He want you to have? Put it in the chat. He wants you to have prosperity and also the future that you hope for. And we're declaring that you get that this year. So remember, write out your blueprint for success based on the plans that God gives you. Make sure you follow them and build your best life. Because building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan. It's our commitment. I love you. Be blessed. Stay safe. Love you, Anastasia. See you soon.
See you soon, Deborah.